All right, welcome back to Two Song Podcast. This is Chris.
And this is Cam.
And this is a show where we try and sort every song ever into one of two categories, either love song
Or fight song.
Yep, exactly right.
And this is episode 121 of our show.
Yeah, it is. And that little intro that you just heard is from a Mount Joy song called Strangers. And it's off their album Rearrange Us. The album came out in 2020, but this was a single and it came out a few months before the full album in June. The single came out in February. But either way, kind of an interesting time for an album called Rearrange Us to be released.
I know. Released amongst the early stages of a pandemic and then presumably recorded well before.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I would think. Yeah. But a fun intro. It's kind of like, it reminds me of a bunch of early 2000s music that was like, yo, do like effects, do like weird stuff, and then like the alt rock band will come in. It's like, all right, okay, this hadn't even done like once or twice, but doesn't mean it's a bad idea.
Yeah, I guess not. Seems to work for them.
Mm-hmm. But it's not a very long intro. But I think Mount Joy is like indie and alternative and all that stuff, but I also am like, yeah, but pop is always close by.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, the music is so catchy. All of it that I've heard is so like 1 foot in like a scene and 1 foot in like pop music that gets played.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's not doing anything super experimental, but he has like a really easy to listen to and understand voice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very digestible. And
yeah.
Also interesting enough.
Yes, very well said. Yeah. Well, I mean, not much of an intro. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind moving on. I mean,
right.
I really like this song. We were talking about it right just a second ago, and it goes by so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the parts aren't that different. Like, it's easy for me to get just kind of lulled into a rhythm by this song.
Yeah.
More than other songs, because every song has rhythm. But just like not knowing, like sometimes I listen to this song, I'll put it this way, if I'm doing anything, the song either has 2 minutes left or 10 seconds left. And then it'll end and I'll be like, oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Because it just like, there's just a few parts used, sparingly.
Yeah, and there's nothing to really let you know where you are in the song, because the parts aren't very distinct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so well said. I agree.
Thanks. Well, maybe let's move on.
Yeah.
The lyrics.
Yeah, let's hear some more.
Nice. It's kind of like what you were saying. The voice is so easy to listen to,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of draws you in. It doesn't quite remind me of any other voice I've heard, and I like what I've heard from Rearrange Us. It's a little bit denser and heavier.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the early stuff that people tried to show me from Mount Joy, to me it was kind of like sappy, or just like, I don't know, like there's one where there's a lyric about being an otter, and I was just like, nope, I'm out. I felt like, I don't know, I felt like I was in a nice chair on reality TV, and I was just, for these reasons, I'm out. I don't know, but I shouldn't be that way. I should have given it a chance. But yeah, sometimes it's like the voice is like real thin and falsetto, and I'm like, oh, I can see why like the people that I know, certain people I know, really like this band.
Yeah.
I don't know, but to me, this one, I don't know. It's just different. Like, it just has more stuff that appeals to me, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if they're like heading that way as far as the direction of the band goes.
Yeah. I kind of hope so, selfishly. But also, I don't know, these lyrics kind of remind me, I don't know what exactly it's called, where you can like tap into something that, it's like subconscious, that's what it is. I know that's not a very like new word. It's like, oh, you mean the word subconscious that so many people use every day? But it's just like, these are very specific references, but sometimes a band I can kind of compare it to is the Lumineers, they will describe something that's not nostalgic or aspirational to me, but subconsciously I relate to it.
Yeah.
It's like
Just specific.
specific and not off-putting or turn off. Like, you know how sometimes a music video, you'd be like, oh dude, cool, I relate to like that character in the music video. That's awesome. Like that's me. But thank goodness it's not. It's just like a fantasy, like a daydream. To me, this first verse is like that. Or really, I don't even know if it's a verse because it comes back so much. It's kind of like a first chorus. There's like two choruses. There's a real chorus and there's this one. But I mean, ride through New York City like I'm famous. So that's just such an interesting line to go, yeah, dude. Yeah,
Totally.
that would be cool. I daydream about that too, but I don't. I never have before, but now I do.
Yeah, and when I've been in New York, I did no driving or riding. So
Yeah,
maybe if you're famous, you would be riding instead of walking.
yeah. Well, I know. That's the thing. Like a lot of people, I'm sure, ride in one time and ride out one time. But yeah, riding, like you're famous, to me, would not be like on the subway. Although I've heard people say like even famous people in New York ride the subway, but I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a picture of Keanu Reeves.
I've seen a picture of Jake Gyllenhaal
Oh, cool.
while he was filming a movie there. Supposedly Dave Attell still takes the train everywhere he goes. You know, he's had a Comedy Central show for a couple seasons, and you know, he's a famous working comedian. But and I'm not like seeing that with my own eyes. I just kind of imagine like a stretched limo, and like you're in the city, and people's like, that could be empty, or that could be like someone super famous.
Yeah,
we can't see in there.
I just want to point out that we get this isn't like the title track of the album, but it kind of is. I mean, we get strangers in the lyrics here in that first section, and we get Rearrange Us.
Yeah.
So that's just cool.
It makes sense that it would be a single. To be like, we don't know what the album's going to be yet, but we're pretty sure, and we really like this idea. It just happens to be in this song. This is a single.
Yeah. And there is also a title track. There is a Rearrange Us on this album. So.
Cool. Huh. Also, this is this chorus A or chorus 1 or whatever is like hypothetical. Like this person, the narrator's not really saying I did it or I will do it. I'm gonna, just saying, like, if this, then line 1.
Yeah.
And if some other scenarios, then our lives don't work, then we can change them. You know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
To be like, I'm just prepared for it. It's not, like I said, aspirational, but I'm just, I have a plan.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of songs are, you know, kind of hypothetical in that you're like kind of trying to imagine what it would be like and then writing like from that place, but they're not specifically saying like, if this were to happen, then this, then it would be like this. So it's kind of unusual.
It is unusual, yeah. It's like playing chess with another person. It's like, I'm gonna do the best move based on what you do, but I already have a plan that if you move there, I'll do this. If you move there, I won't do that because I won't be able to, you know?
Right.
Cool. Yeah. I like the song. I think the overall tone of it is what I like so much. Like, the guitar has a really natural distortion. And I've noticed that in a lot of their guitar heavy songs, the guitar tone will be just kind of like guitar. It's like right on that fine line of guitar players who go, ooh, that's like neat. And some people are like, that's rock guitar, I guess. You know, people that don't think about stuff, they just, that signifies to them like, that's what this is. Don't think too much about it and move on. But I like it. And I always like their parts too. They'll do like it's like a little bit of a, like I said, distortion or broken up speaker, and then do an interesting like bluesy part. And you're just like, I would not have put that with this beat, with this singer, with these lyrics.
Yeah. Yes. earlier said that it's not like super experimental or anything, but I didn't mean to say that it's not original. Like they do kind of combine stuff in a way that's interesting.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do.
Just mix sounds in a good way.
Well, should we? Gosh, this is funky, but I'm gonna call that we just listened to chorus A. I'm gonna call this the pre-chorus.
Yeah.
And then this third section that comes along, the chorus, which is, I know it's crazy, but should we hear this pre-chorus?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Man.
Yeah, there's that falsetto.
Yeah. This vocal performance is so like varied. It's like Mick Jagger a little bit, like really into singing. You're not just delivering a song like a person singing for a paycheck. You're like also having so much fun with it while you're doing it. I don't know. It reminds me of something else. I can't put my finger on it. Just the way it's sung, like the when I'm hanging on, the way that part is like running out of breath, and it's so. Oh, I got it. It's like calligraphy. It's like some of the notes are bold and thick, and then some of them are really thin and like razor sharp and barely there.
Wow.
And you're like, dang, you could have just written that in cursive, and people probably would have been like, that's pretty. You have pretty handwriting. Like when someone can sing, I don't know, like just kind of one of them things like where it's like on national TV or like someone's at the White House or someone's at like a PBS, like asking for money. It's just like, hey, dude, just kind of do it middle of the road for everybody. And people go, pretty. That was pretty. That was good. But then to, like I said, calligraphy is like, whoa, this is art. This is like breathtaking. I can almost not read it, but thankfully I can still read it.
Yeah. Cool. It's a cool metaphor.
Thank you. I promise I wasn't pretending like I didn't know that. I was sitting there thinking. Like, I was thinking of a lot of things. I was thinking of that song, I Can See Clearly, Now the Rain Is Gone. I don't know why, because to me that is like a really loud and like strong vocal performance, but it just parts of it remind me of it.
It reminded me of a Rainbow Kitten surprise song.
Oh.
Not really a specific one, but just like, and not even this whole song or the chorus A, what we had heard prior, but just that specific section really reminded me of them.
Me too. Okay, you said them. I don't know how I forgot about them, but I was thinking Joy Division. When I was listening to this song and a couple other songs, just Spotify will be like, these are the big ones, or either these are the ones the artists like asked us to put up top. I was listening to them, and there's a couple other ones that I really, really like with some really cool guitar licks in them. And I was like, dang, dude, these are like those kinds of bands where you can just feel like the band's having fun. You know that the songs do well with like a certain demographic.
Right.
Like once you, I don't know how to say this. Like once you work in a cubicle, you don't get to like Mount Joy, Rainbow Kitten Surprise, Joy Division, those kinds of bands.
Right.
Where it's just like 10 hippies having so much fun on stage. You can't take that with you to cubicle world. No, I'm just kidding. Well, a person I know that really liked Mount Joy, I worked in a cubicle with him, or like
cool.
beside him.
Nice.
But yeah, you were saying Rainbow Kitten Surprise because of the way there's so much vocal control.
Yeah, and dynamics, but just like they make it look easy.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's
or
like
sound easy.
It's like it goes all these places, and then the air's sucked out, but not really, because the air's right back in the very next millisecond. You're like, goodness gracious, it makes it seem easy.
Yeah, and you were talking about, kind of like all of these bands like this that are like part of the same demographic, or if you like this band, you'll like the other ones, and the algorithm certainly thinks so. Like Spotify's been trying to give me Mount Joy for years, and I always like them. I've just never like really dug into their discography.
Yeah, I gotta make kind of the same thing. Yeah, this was another suggestion. This song was sent. It was like, hey, do this song. But
Cool.
but yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like I've heard a few, but I don't claim to be like a super fan and know like the different albums and different like phases. You know.
Right. Same here.
That's a super fun section. To me, the ifs are back. Like the first little bit we heard was like, I've got a plan, I've got contingencies on contingencies. And this one is like getting a little bit more desperate, or getting to be like, I need to get my message to you more quickly than I'm doing. I'm taking too much time. I gotta just say, like the stuff I was saying a second ago, don't kind of worry about it, but you know, then it turns to this other character. Like
Yeah.
I got stuff that I need to like make you aware of.
Yeah, almost like they're like, all right, we're almost a minute into the song. Let's give them some substance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the way it's interesting to me, it's such a great way to have a song, especially short or short-ish song, go medium energy, kind of low energy, and then you know what comes next.
Mhm.
People have heard the song before; they know what comes next. But to me, this section is why I was like, "Oh yeah, let's do this song."
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Yeah. Man,
Ooh.
golly.
Yeah. There's where the blues guitar really gets highlighted.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very subtle too. It's like just like some really quick notes between lyrics, but it has that like really clean bluesy tone.
Yeah, it does, especially up against all the chords.
Yeah.
But the chords are so fuzzed up and so fat and splatty. You're just like, well, to me, I hope I'm right, but to me, there's no way it is the same guitar and same signal chain. Like same set of guitar cable, set of pedals, amplifier. I just don't know how you clean it up that fast and go back to it.
Right.
So I think it's two guitars, which is cool to me. That
Yeah.
one can just like slap all the sound, and the other person can be waiting to hit those little riffs.
Which makes me wonder if it's even the same guitarist, because obviously you could in the studio, track them separately. But it'd be cooler if this band has two guitarists, and I don't know enough about them. But they hopefully have some way to recreate this in a live setting. So
Yes. Oh yeah, I was thinking that, and that's kind of why I said two. I feel like they'd have to.
yeah,
Although I saw Collective Soul one time, and they piped in like two of their most famous parts. At the beginning of Heavy,
oh wow,
that like goes from speaker to speaker, that was just a track. And then there was one solo later in another song that guitar player isn't in the band anymore, and so they just like had a recording of it.
ah dang,
And they like flashed the lights, hoping you would notice. And I'm just like, where's he at? But yeah, I'm like you. I'm hoping that they can do this live because it'd be so awesome.
When was that you saw Collective Soul?
Oh my gosh, 2006.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, a long time ago. Hey, do you ever remember the band Lifehouse?
Yeah.
That long ago. Okay, cool. Anyways, another thing about this true chorus is I like that it's doubled. It's like, because it goes fast and it has this lopsided rhythm, and I don't know, I think when it comes to pop music especially, we're dumb people. So when someone says because, they're a professor with a bow tie. If someone says cause, they're like your friend on the playground.
Yeah.
So it's like nice, dude. Apostrophe CAUSE.
Well, now we're friends.
Yeah. Now we're relatable. You got the street cred. And again, I like that it's pretty simple. Then it starts over. Because I think about the time it says "I am over you." It's 3 lines basically of just "I am over you."
And very insistent, which is a little suspicious in my opinion.
Yes. Well, funny you say that, because the next thing I was going to bring up is anytime after, I don't know, mid-70s, when Monty Python and the Holy Grail was like the hottest thing in comedy.
Yeah.
It was like Charlie Chaplin in black and white Try Not to Fall Down. And then like Richard Pryor, George Carlin, some of those guys, and then Monty Python. People are like, whoa, this is like the funniest thing that's ever existed. And I just wonder if, because Flesh Wound to me is such a specific compound word, like, and anytime I've ever heard someone say it, it's not been serious.
Right.
So I just, anytime like here, even Flesh Wound, Little Flesh Wound, I'm like, was that a phrase before that movie where the character infamously is being hacked to pieces and it's like, it's a flesh wound? I just...
Yeah, because I think you might be onto something, because if you're not familiar with that reference, then it's just like they're downplaying it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are, then he's not even being subtle about, like, you know, how much it affected him.
Yeah.
Dang, that's really smart. I like that.
Yeah, and thank you. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, are you alluding to that? Like, first you lost your right arm, then you lost your left arm, then you lost your left leg, then you lost your right leg. Because that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But that night was saying it's a flesh wound. Or, like you just said, you take the words for what they're like worth on their face and you miss it.
Yeah. Cool.
I don't know, but I truly, because what I said up at the beginning of the episode, there's like some song about falling in love with somebody's daughter and being an otter, and so when this song started, I was like, is this one of those like cute, coffee shop, like beanie hat kind of songs, which have their place, but I was just like, what is this song? And then the chorus came, I was like, this song goes.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it does.
So, that's not the last time we'll hear the chorus, but now we're back to chorus A, original chorus.
Yeah. So let's hear that again.
Yeah. Dang.
It's cool because it's the same words, but it's different.
Yeah. It's that thing from like 90s pop radio where they wanted to be like, if you do the chorus 4 times, the next to last time, change up the timing or change up the words. Now when people are trying to sing it with their friends, they'll look like a fool. And they'll never forget the lyrics ever again.
This sounds a little personal.
I just think of so many times, like, as a little kid, at least me personally, I just couldn't pay attention to too many things. I thought I was paying attention, but I would just, like, a Matchbox 20 song, I'd be like, that's not the... Dang, dude, I had the wrong part. Dang, man. I know this song. It's my favorite song, but I messed up that part. And I think it's so cool to convey almost the exact same idea as the very first chorus, but just be like, there's little subtle things, like I did not want our love to be erased.
Yeah.
Versus if our lives don't work, then we'll change them, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of similar. Like, depending on how much emphasis you place on quote unquote our love, that's very similar to me to changing our life. Like,
yeah.
If our lives aren't going the way, we'll change them. And then I didn't want our love to be erased. I don't know. But it also ends and rearranges like the first one.
Right. And then I think the only other difference is the one we just heard said, Lord knows we chased it, instead of Lord knows we'll change. So it is really cool to be kind of conveying the same thing. Like, kind of still saying what you said in the first instance of this, but you can kind of add to it.
Yeah.
And it feels more empty because we just had the full-on chorus.
Yes.
And then the fuzzy guitar is doing something kind of like the bluesy guitar was doing. Like it sounds similarly affected, and fuzzy and blocky, but he's playing it a little more spiky. Like it's just kind of filling in the space between the lines, kind of like the guitar sound was doing.
Yeah, I was picking up on that too, because it's like it's almost as if after the chorus, that first part can't go back exactly how it was. Like it can't be quite as low energy as the beginning, because the person's getting worked up. You know, it's like it's starting to affect them. So there is some more like textures and tones and stuff in there. And then also, to me, it seems like a little bit loud. It seems like it's sung a little bit harder than the first time we hear it.
Yeah. It's rare to see a song that's like we have these 3 sections that we want you to hear multiple times.
I know.
Like these could be choruses for multiple different songs.
Yes, thank you. They really could. And I like this. I mean, I feel like that is kind of like a almost not novel, but almost novel. Like, how come more songs aren't like this? Like, make every song as good as it can be. But I think a lot of times artists, now it's too late. Like, the music industry has changed music forever, and the music industry has changed so many times and adjusted, but it never really goes away. So people are like, well, we need 10, we need 12. And it's like, what if you had like 4 perfect songs, start to finish? That would be cool, and that would be pretty awesome. Nobody's really ever done that. Every song you ever make is perfect. That would be cool. But yeah, I agree. It's like better than some choruses and some songs, and it just happens to all be in the same song.
Yeah. Very impressive.
Yeah. And yeah, it is neat that it's 3 sections. I mean, yeah, that's crazy. To me, this next little bit it's weird. To me, it's like the pre-chorus that we've already heard, but it's quite different. Like, it's the most different of the sections that are mirrored, like sections that come back. It's the most one that's like almost a verse.
Right, yeah, like the second half looks like it's the same as the second half from the previous pre-chorus, but the first half is a lot more verse-like. It's the closest thing really to a verse, and kind of the closest thing to a bridge, because if it's the most different.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's hear that.
Yeah, let's do it. Nice.
Yeah, and it's doing a lot more building, a lot more work than the previous pre-chorus did.
And back to the Rainbow Kitten Surprise comparison, there are 2 voices there that don't match, but they work. I mean, they blend. I don't know.
Yeah.
A couple weekends ago, I saw on Amazon Prime, I'm pretty sure I would have sworn that Once was on Prime for free. And I've seen Once probably a dozen times, but I was in the mood to watch it, but not fully. So I clicked on it and was like, no, I want to watch this now. Good to know it's on Prime. Like, good to see us Once. Old friend. And then I was like, went back 3 days later, 4 days later, and it was not free. And so maybe I misunderstood, but I'm pretty sure it was. So anyways, I was so upset that I didn't watch it. I was just mad at myself. But that was the first time the 2 singers from Once, 2 songwriters, was the first time I heard 2 people whose voices don't go together, but they're like, my voice goes with everybody, dude. I'm a good singer. Like, the harmonies are crazy between those 2. Swell Seasons, what they call themselves when they're together. And to me, the singers from Rainbow Kitten Surprise, and then the vocals here in this section, like, it's just like haunting, you know? Because like, we're used to, I don't know, so many people don't even know enough of, like, they don't even know that music is an iceberg. That's how little they know about it. It's not that they can just see the tip of it. They don't even have a clue.
Yeah.
They're like pleasant sounds, and then there are spooky sounds and sad sounds, and like questioning sounds. Like someone can play a chord and it sounds like a question mark. And you're just like, neat. Well, how'd you do that? And then I'll see conspiracies online where it'll be like, did you know that in Germany this frequency was outlawed? Did you know that in France this frequency was like written into law be the only thing orchestras could tune to? It's just like, what are we doing here, people? Go to bed. Like, look into something else. This is too wild. But to me, like having in this last part, my blue side, my fire eyes, my heart keeps me in the fight. That part, to have those weird two lead vocals almost that like diverge and come back together and diverge and harmonize. It's just like, yeah, every time I think about this song, I think about the choruses and then that part.
Yeah, because those words are powerful and kind of haunting and like energized, and they're like emphasizing it in that way.
Yeah,
with, different voices.
Yeah, for real.
I'm glad you went on a brief tangent of, looking at crazy stuff on the internet, because this last line, "better not run when I'm blind," makes me think of this silly video I saw on the internet. And it seems like there's like people that will just like film people and like wait for them to get mad. So that seems like what this video was. There was like two guys on the sidewalk, and they're just like filming this like some kind of sports car, foreign sports car that I didn't recognize. Maybe a Lexus. And the guy gets out and he's like, "Why are you recording me? What's wrong with you?" Like immediately wants to fight and comes up and like tries to grab the camera and gets pepper sprayed. And then he can't see, but he just starts walking, like power walking away across the street, bumps into a camper, sits down for a second, gets up, walks back across the street the other way, like away from them, and they're just filming it and laughing and stuff. And I'm like, no, don't walk around if you can't see, obviously.
Yeah, do that. I've seen that video too. It's like in a little path, like a little road. Not like a highway or anything, or like a 4-lane road, but just like, hey, that looks dangerous.
Yeah, a busy residential road. Yeah. So a very specific image of just like, yeah, obviously don't run if you can't see where you're running. It's like, don't spit into the wind.
Yeah. I do wonder though, every time I hear that lyric, it is a nice line. I think it sounds good. I think it's a good advice, but I don't know how it ties in with the two before it. If you want freedom, you better free someone.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Better not, like, hey, finish this sentence. You better not run when I'm blind. Is that the code word? Yes, but why? I don't know. Again, not that I dislike it. I think it sounds awesome, but I just wonder what I'm missing there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a certain like style of songwriting that's kind of like, it wants to be personal and like is probably to them, but it's vague enough that like you kind of just have to wonder about it. Like, what do they know that I don't know?
I know. And I used to be I didn't have strong feelings about it one way or the other, believe it or not. But I used to just think it was silly when songs were like that. Like when I first started getting into some bands that do that, it's just like they are always editing their words before they're done. So it ends up being like, what is this song about? And then I realized, like, so what? Like, there's some paintings, they're so abstract. You look at them and be like, what is it? It's like you're asking the wrong question. What's this a painting of? No. You got to go back to Art Appreciation 101 and just be like, do you like it or not?
Yeah, what do you feel?
Yeah, exactly. Does it make you angry? Does it make you hungry? That would be cool. That'd be crazy if it could do that. Whatever. Does it make you sad? Does it make you look away? That's something. Like, that's better than all the other stuff here. You're like, that's old, that's cool, nudity. And you see something abstract and you go, oh, you look away. It's like, I got you. I made you feel something. And when songs do that, it's like, I didn't really hear all those lyrics. It was like some gibberish, kind of like singing, like the guy from Pearl Jam, then Fire Brigade. I got those lyrics, but I don't know what the rest of the lyrics were. And then you're just like, yeah, but I still like it.
Yeah, cool. That's funny. We were on the Star Wars podcast that I'm on sometimes, Grogu Gaga. We were talking about how like the worst opinion you can have of almost anything, but certainly art and Star Wars TV shows or movies is like being like I could take it or leave it. I don't have strong feelings either way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, I'd rather you be upset about it. Like I want you to either love it or be pissed about it. Like I want you to feel something rather than just like brushing it off.
Yeah, but it's almost like the old thing, like life is too short, fill in the blank, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Life is too short to this or for that. Kind of like that. It's like, well, don't watch it anymore. If it's just like nothing to you, if you're indifferent to it,
Yeah.
don't turn it back on.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, a pre-chorus verse kind of thing that gets us back to the chorus.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Gosh, I wonder if that was a melody, like just a thing to sing, like a tune to hum, and then whenever it was like brought all the way up to whatever top, like to the surface,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, whoa, I got something, you know? Like I just wonder, because it's so easy to sing. Sometimes people do that when they're doing something repetitive or mindless.
Mm-hmm.
They'll sing something without like realizing, like, oh, I was just singing like the same word or the same two words. And I feel like this is that way a little bit, but it just is so catchy. I wonder if whenever it was written, the person was like, oh man, I did that. I don't know where that came from, but that is great. I gotta make sure I don't forget that.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows?
I mean,
it is fun to wonder though.
yeah, it really is. I just think about, like, for people that don't like music or really are into music or don't play music or have ever tried to write a song, think like if someone gave you those words, that just the true chorus,
Yeah.
like word verbatim, cause I am over you, and I am over you, like what tune would they come up with?
Dang.
You know, like I feel like you could do like an experiment, a blind experiment where people would come up with like infinite tunes.
Yeah.
And I wonder how long it would take to have one as catchy as this one.
Dang. Yeah, or if they even would, unless the person that wrote the song was in the experiment.
Yeah, because I mean, how does the song know to have the first one? Because I am, like a real cut there, like a real breath over you. That all the other ones are kind of like stuck together. I am over you, and I am. And they really emphasize that syllable, and the am over you, and then it kind of like starts over. You know, I am over you, and the you is the lowest one down, and I am over you. Like, how did the tune know to be shaped like that? It's just so cool.
Yeah. It's very cool. And the way the drums are in this one, it's almost like it's like falling over at like every half line or every time it's like I am, and then it gets built back up over you. It just keeps like falling down and getting back up, which is really cool. Strange effect to be able to do in a song, but that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, it is. But that's awesome. But then we get a bridge. I mean, this is the only section that like stands out. It's not be like anything else. But honestly, man, I don't know that we needed it. I would have been happy with like a double chorus there.
Yeah.
You know, because it's such a good chorus to me, and then ending like in a little frame, ending like the way the song started.
Yeah. I know it's pretty cool for them to be like, yeah, we got this other part for you too.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna keep it exactly the same. Which they could have done with a double chorus. Like I said, they could have just done different stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's hear the bridge.
Man. So it's like, I don't know, it has that vibe of singing in rounds, or like singing two different parts like competing with each other.
Yeah, and the piano is going crazy. It's like, oh yeah, there's a piano in this song.
Yeah. There are a couple other like sections where you hear it, but then you forget about it.
Yeah,
I do anyway.
I
There's
definitely
so
have.
much other stuff.
Yeah, and it really gets to shine.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're like, yeah, go hard, piano player. And again, not really saying much. The bridge is perhaps the most abstract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know, because the backup singers are doing some we've heard before, but then the lead singer is I'm not sure what. You know,
You're right.
other side now. I will be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess, and solo other side now. So maybe like the other side of the relationship, the relationship that they're over now. You know, they're on the other side. They'll be all right.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, but we probably don't have too much left, do we?
No, about 40 seconds.
Oh wow, okay. Dang. Yeah, I don't know. In a way, it's like, I don't know. I would have liked this section without that stuff on top, but it's okay. I mean, he sounds good singing it. I like his voice. I really do. It's a distinct voice, and it's clearly there's a lot of power there because it can be so gentle. Like if it were that kind of singing all the time, like I've said a couple different times, in different ways, I would go, I'm good. But it can do the stuff that's fun, like it can do the chorus and the part where like the little falsettos are there and they're like so empty.
Yeah.
So to me, it's cool to have it like belt and that other side. Now I will be all right part. But should we just finish off? Should we hear the chorus A/outro and then the way they ended?
Yeah, let's do it.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's a lot of space at the end there in the outro.
But I like the way it ends. I like kind of like how some of the intro has like that like experimental like part. I like that it ends with like feedback and just like it's almost like a schmaltzy song on the piano where the person just like ends with like a really vulnerable line, like a really sad line.
Yeah.
And the audience is supposed to sit there and kind of think on it, like, oh yeah, wow. Huh. You know? But
yeah.
But that's kind of what we were saying just a couple minutes ago. That's only if you get all of this. If you understand it, it's not abstract to you.
Yeah. And it's not a new line. Like these aren't new lyrics. So we've kind of already heard it, but for some reason they wanted to end on it and like kind of dwell on it.
Yeah. Dang, yeah. Dang. And also, one last thing, I don't know why it's not the exact way from the beginning. It's the second time we hear it. You know? Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
Oh well. You know what would be neat? I mean, it doesn't matter, but if in the middle one, the second time we hear this chorus-like thing about running through New York City, if this middle part was, and I do not want our love to be erased, but Lord knows I'll chase it, or something like that. Like it was like present tense, and at the end it was past tense.
Yeah, I like that.
Dang, well, thank you. Whatever, it doesn't matter. This is the way they chose to do it, but
Yeah, same lyrics as the second time, actually.
yeah. Well, you want me to go first since I brought this one up?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool, I can do that. I think the way it starts is so, like I said earlier, not nostalgic, but just like relatable. Like people go, oh yeah, that's awesome. And I guess, to be totally fair, I've never had anybody else's perspective besides my own. So maybe if I were older and I didn't like this kind of music, I would go, you're a fool. What are you talking about? These lyrics are bad. This is bad. But I just like it. I don't know why, but I do. And I think the way that the piano kind of punches in there sometimes and hits those chords, coupled with the way he'll sing something like he's bearing his soul, and then like simultaneously as if it got too much for him, and he'll have to like fight back tears, almost whimper through the lyric. I think the only thing that gives me pause is the chorus, because the chorus is so like heavy. It's like feels metallic to me. It feels like something being like thudded or hammered. But I think it is like upbeat, definitely. But I think overall, I gotta say love song because it's most like a ballad to me. It's not fast in the great scheme of like fast upbeat songs. The chorus is fun and to me has a lot of energy, but maybe that's just in comparison to the rest of the song.
Yeah.
Like, and I also think just the way it's kind of like preachy in some parts, like the pre-choruses, if you want freedom, you better free someone, that kind of thing. I don't know. Yeah, I think overall it is really kind of sentimental, even if it's not straightforward, like what the lyrics are exactly addressing. I think to me it's closer to a ballad than a fight song. And even though the chorus kind of throws me, I still think, given the weight of it, like all the other sections, it maybe overpowers it and flips it to a love song for me.
Ah, cool. Nice. I've actually gone back and forth a good bit on this one.
Cool.
And I think it is kind of sentimental and not super upbeat, but I think actually you reminded me of the reference to Monty Python. Kind of helped me like see through it as like it's not really a celebration. It's like trying to come to terms with like the end of a relationship, but it's not quite through that. So it's not celebratory yet, and so I think that means it's still a breakup song. And with the choruses that have that kind of tricky line in it, and how like insistent and driven and powerful as the I am over yous are, I think that's what pushes it over to fight song for me.
Whoa, cool, okay.
Almost just like telling yourself, pushing through, trying to get over someone, being like, yeah, I am.
Nice. Yeah, okay. Well, that kind of makes sense, actually.
Cool.
Thanks. Awesome. Well, there it is. That's cool. We haven't disagreed in a while. I'm into that.
Yeah. And I think the bridge kind of helps with that too. Like the piano is really banging out those chords. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I like when we disagree. Usually.
Dang. Well, take care for listening. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and if you know much more about Mount Joy, we love learning stuff. We'll probably be checking them out even more and learning things going forward. But we'd love to hear what y'all know, what we got wrong, or if they have 3 guitarists.
Yeah.
Or just one. But yeah, thank y'all so much for listening. And Chris, thanks for picking this one.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks for having me over in your house and all.
Of course.
It's a good time. And we'll talk y'all again next week.